Hi, good afternoon. I'm Ansley Sutter, Social Media Training and Development Coordinator with ForRent Media Solutions. Thanks so much for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about in the Insights dashboard that Facebook has. I'll give you a full walkthrough of the Insights dashboard within the admin panel. Facebook has released extensive updates to its Insights tool, which provides you as an admin with analytics on how page content is performing. An admin can also view a page analytics in real time. With this new update, you're able to get real-time distribution and engagement metrics of how the content on your page is operating. For example, you'll be able to see if a certain post is performing exceedingly well and could just adjust its prominence by starring or pinning it, which is one of the new features with Timeline. So with this training, I'll talk about the features that pertain to an admin of an apartment community's Facebook business page. So at any time, feel free to use the question box you have available to you, and I'll answer all your questions at the end of the session. Also, if you missed last month's webinar, please visit the Expert Training Portal by clicking on the Social Media Training button in the Management Console and select the Training tab where each month's session is located. So what we're going to talk about today are these things. So you're sharing content with people who have liked your page, but how sure are you, in knowing that engagement level, how that converts to success? The Insights dashboard provides robust data on user activity, but it can be a bit daunting and overwhelming. You have charts, you have graphs, you have reports. Oh my, there's so much to deal with. But my hope is that you'll have a better understanding of the tool after this presentation. So today, let's hit the features a page admin would need to know to help benchmark progress and monitor content. First, we'll get into a little math. I'll go over the metrics Facebook has created. I'll show you several ways you can view your insights. We'll talk about features like page posts, the export data tool. Again, we'll talk about other features like where your likes came from. We'll talk about that indicator and what that means, as well as your total tab views. Also, I'll share a link to Facebook's Insights Guide for future reference, which is really, really neat. So before we even get into the Insights dashboard, let me just give you a little background as to how it was redesigned for the timeline layout. Hopefully all of you with the last month's training have become a little bit more acquainted with Timeline. Hopefully you're using that, you're implementing that new form that you can tell your brand story and really kind of convey the humanistic side of your brand. So this is really cool. If you've made that leap to Timeline, Insights is probably the next place you need to visit regarding how your content, how your stories are working for you. So previously, everything an admin has access to was pretty spread out in various tabs on the previous Facebook page, the kind of the older version of the Facebook page. But with the new timeline layout, Facebook designed the admin panel to really be just a one-stop go-to of sorts. The admin panel can be looked at as mission control, which allows the page admin to monitor that page's activity from one place, which is very, very convenient, especially in our industry where time is very, very scarce sometimes. It's really convenient that all the insights are available for you. All the views of an admin panel are in one place. So to get to the admin panel, you would click the button in the top right hand of the page to expand the admin panel. So you see here, the admin panel is located in this upper right hand corner. You click that and it would pop out into this whole admin dashboard. So everything is still business as usual regarding your timeline. Just at admin view, you can see all the insights. You can see your new likes, your notifications, as well as your messages. So once you're in the admin panel, you can see your notifications, meaning any new interactions like your likes, which are here, any shares or comments on your page posts as well. You can view any user-initiated messages, which is a really cool, a newer feature that Facebook has implemented with Timeline. So you see here, this is a screenshot of our ForRent.com corporate Facebook page. And since we have implemented the new Timeline layout, we have had a great number of users of our people who have liked our page to initiate conversation behind the scenes via message. Also, you can keep track of any new incomers who have liked your page, which you see here. And finally, you have access to your Insights dashboard, which is what we'll be talking about today. So by clicking the See All button you see here next to each feature, you can navigate to any of those features. Today, again, we'll focus on the Insights dashboard in particular. So to see the metrics within the Insights dashboard, you would hit See All. And this is the first time I'll actually toggle between this presentation and the live view of the Insights dashboard. So I will give your computers time to adjust toggling between the two. So there are a few features that we'll talk about. We're not going to talk about all of them because all of them won't pertain to you. This is what an admin will see, and there are, again, a plethora of features within the Insights tool, but not all of them will apply. And it's really important just to learn about features that reveal information about your target audience, which gives you the opportunity to post really just great, compelling content. So a couple things to note before we actually get into the Insights dashboard, that the Insights tool is only available to pages that have been liked by at least 30 people. Also, you must be an administrator of your community's Facebook business page in order to view and use the Insights tool. So if you're wondering why you can't see or use your page's Insights tool, it's probably one of these two reasons. So just make sure that you are all set to go regarding aggregating people, recruiting people to like your page, so that way you can start seeing your page's activity. I would even recruit friends and family just to get to that 30 people who like your page, so you can start seeing that activity, as well as making sure that you're an administrator. Now, multiple people can be an administrator of a Facebook business page. So if you have more than one person on staff who needs to be an administrator, that's no problem at all. That person would just have to like the page, and then whoever was the first administrator of that page would make that person an admin. So that's how it works. All right, so we're going to get into a little math now. So Facebook developed various metrics to help explain what feature does what. I'll explain what each metric focuses on, so that way you'll know what that stat means once we get into the actual Insights dashboard. So the first metric is reach, which corresponds to the number of unique people who have seen your post within 28 days of the day that it was initially posted. So that's what kind of will tell you who is seeing your post, how many people are seeing your post, and these are really cool too, which I'll actually get into the dashboard. And one little tip I have for you is, if you explore your own dashboard, which I do suggest, if you hover over all of these question marks, it actually tells you what each metric means, which is really cool. So for the most part, all of your content is going to be organic. I mean, it's up to you if you want to run a Facebook ad, but that's what that corresponds to. Paid means that you are running a Facebook ad, and viral, also, I'll tell you what that metric means as well. But for the most part, again, most of your content will be in the organic category regarding your reach. The next metric is engaged users. That's the number of unique people who have clicked on that post. So reach is different, where people are exposed to the post within 28 days of the initial post. Engaged users refers to people who have actually clicked on the post. So again, there's different types of posts. You have your photo views, other types of clicks, and stories generated that are new to the Facebook timeline format. Also, it tells you people who gave negative feedback, and again, over all of these question marks, you can hover over each of them, which I'll show you, and it kind of just explains each of those metrics a little bit further in depth. The next metric is the talking about this metric, which refers to the unique number of people who have liked, commented, shared your post, answered a question that you posted, or responded to your event. So there's, about 5 different ways that people can talk about, your content. For the most part, you're going to stay within the 3 top ways that you can share your content, or your content can be liked, commented, or shared. For the most part, when Facebook refers to asking a question, that's when you have posted a poll. So for the most part, you can ask a question, organically, meaning that you just ask it full out, but that would be just a regular post. When Facebook refers to asking a question, that's a reference to posting a poll. So for the most part, you're going to share content by, organically. So most people are just going to like, share, or comment on your post, which is completely fine. And again, the cool thing about Insights is that sure, it tells you the metric, but it also breaks each metric down dependent on the type of content. So you see here, each metric has its own graph. Now, the virality metric is pretty intense. This really talks about the percentage of people who have created a story from your post out of the total number of unique people who have seen it. So there is actually a formula regarding this. The virality means it's the number of people talking about that post or that content divided by the reach. So that's the amount of people who have been exposed to that content. So I will show you how you can kind of figure that number out, but it does it for you once we get into the page post, which I'll show you in a second. For example, this content you see here, we actually shared a photo and we said Happy Friday everyone attached to that photo, and that garnered a huge amount of a reach. So what Facebook did to make that content viral is it divided the number of people that were talking about that post by the amount of people it reached. And this is the percentage, almost 4% of our total audience. That's the virality factor. So again, it's really up to you if you want to get that deep into your metrics, but all of these resources are available to you through the Insights dashboard. So again, it's up to you kind of how you want to incorporate this metrics tool or this Insights tool into your business model. Some people just like to visit it just to kind of keep tabs or benchmark. Some people actually want to break it down regarding numbers, which I'll show you a cool way that you can export all of these numbers into a really robust looking report Excel spreadsheet. But again, that's what all of the metrics mean. So now I'll show you all of these as I get into the admin dashboard. So here I am on our Christina Lake's Facebook page, and I'm actually going to use the ForRent.com corporate page to show you because it's an actually full functioning legit Facebook page. So again, this is kind of what a regular user would see. But as an admin, I have this little tab available to me, so I'm going to click this. Again, it takes you straight into the admin panel. What we're talking about today is Insights, so I'll go to See All. And here we are into the different ways you can view your insights. So now that you have a really good understanding of kind of what each metric refers to, hopefully you'll have a better understanding as to how these statistics are developed. So again, I'll show you kind of, your posts are here. And again, if you hover over all the question marks, it shows you what each metric means. So this is where all of your page posts live. So the really cool thing about this is, and I'll show you in a second, is you can see every single piece of content you've published to your page by date, what the post said, how many people it reached, how many engaged users were actually engaged to that post or with that post, how many people were talking about that post, and it gives you the virality factor. Again, by hovering over each one, it tells you what that metric refers to. So the first way that you can view your metrics is by the overview, which is here, which kind of is more like a general way that you can view all of your metrics. You see here that it shows you, the percentage of or the number of total likes you've had to date. So ForRent.com has, almost 22,000 people who have liked our page. We are not expecting you as a community admin of your page to have that number. This is our corporate page. Again, we really garner a lot of likes by running contests and sweepstakes, which is, again, now an option for you regarding if you're expert level and you have you opt into the sweepstakes app through our Marketplace Network 2.0 dashboard. So that's one way that you can boost your likes. Also, this number is really powerful. This is friends of fans. So this is the almost 22 people have liked our page. This number incorporates every single network base who has friended anyone that has liked our page. So this number is really, really powerful. You may think that your content is only reaching about however many people that like your page, but realistically, it's definitely reaching much, much more than you think, just because when your content is shared from people who like your page, when your content is, if someone likes your post, if someone comments on your post, that interaction shows up on their home feed, where and actually it shows up in the ticker, one of the new features with Facebook home feed. When that content shows up in the ticker, when that content shows up in the home and news feed, all of the friends of the fans or the people who have liked your page see that content. So again, don't be weary if you're at a low rate of people who have liked your page. Just get that number up. Again, you can, if you're at expert level, you can opt into the sweepstakes app that helps you boost your likes, and that number of friends and fans is really, really exponential and very, very powerful. So again, for the most part, this is all the metrics that really kind of tell you where you are with your content. The cool thing is that also it shows you the date and the percentage that number has grown. So for the most part, you always want to be in the green. Now, one thing about the Insights dashboard that's really cool is if for whatever reason within a certain time frame, say that your like count has gone down, it'll show you a red arrow that points down. So at any time you can kind of see where your, the progress, if there's a progression or if there's a digression regarding your activity and your content. So that way you can kind of pay attention to if that arrow is going up or down. Obviously you want it to go up. So that's kind of one way that you can view your content is the overview. The overview takes you to most of all of your page posts. And the second way that you can view your content is through the likes. So if you click here, this really talks to you about who is liking your page. And this is really cool. The demographics chart really indicates to you who your target audience is, even what age they are, the gender. It's really very, very intense regarding, who your audience is, again, what country they live in, what city they live in, what language they're even speaking. So this is really cool. And you can view your demographics in two different ways. You can view it in the likes view. You can also view it in the reach view. And you can also view it in the talking about this view. And here's one thing I want to tell you about the demographics, which I'll kind of share a little bit later. But the demographics, the percentages will vary depending on what view you're in. But for the most part, you don't want those percentages to vary very, very much. So you see here that about 78% of our audience is female. And about the largest percentage of our audience is between ages 25 and 34. So if you look at the reach view, that's 25%. You see here that in the likes and the reach count, females are still the largest part of our audience, and they are still the largest age group is the 25 to 34 age group. And then you'll see here in the talking about this view, the same goes. So really, in the likes view, we saw that it was 25% of females that liked our page. In the reach view, it was 20% of females that were reached out to, exposed to our content. In the talking about this view, about close to 30% of females again. So it should remain consistent depending on what view you're in. Your audience base should still remain consistent. It can vary a few percentage points, but for the most part, your main audience will remain the same across the board, depending on what view you're in. So again, these are the 4 different ways that you can view your audience or people who have liked your page, your insights. So I do suggest that the overview is very robust, but likes really tell you a lot. Who your content is actually reaching out to tells you a lot, and who's actually talking about that content tells you a lot too. So not one is more important than the other. They're all very, very important. So what we'll do next is we'll actually talk about the page posts, which is one of the features I think you should know about. So within the overview section, page posts allows you to filter through various posts, including a wall post, a photo post, a link post, or a question post. So the feature offers visibility of all post types as well as singling out a certain type of post. What this does is it helps you determine which posts are creating the most engagement. So if you go here to all post types, it tells you every single post. So you can see that we shared a link here. These icons indicate what type of post. So most of these are photo posts. You see here that we just, did a straight content where we just did a compose a post, so we didn't add a link or a photo to that. So all of these icons are indicators as to what kind of post types you published. So if you want to single out one type of post, say we want to just view our photos, you would select this icon by clicking the down arrow. You would hit photo. And the page post dashboard shows you only all of the posts that you have published that were photos, as well as any verbiage that went along with those photos. Again, if you just want to view any type of just general post without a photo or a link, you can do that. And same goes for if you want to post, view your links. So you see here that we really don't share a lot of links. We share mostly any type of post that we share a photo. Those do really, really well regarding garnering content, garnering engagement. Also, just generic posts without any type of link or photo do really well. So again, what this teaches us is that sometimes links don't work so well for us, so that's why we only do a few and far between. We shared a link of our photo contest, which is our contest going on that we launched 2 weeks ago. But for the most part, again, we stick to the just regular posts and photo posts. Now it's up to you if you want to share a video of your if you have a community theater video that you want to share, you can do that. It'll tell you that you shared a video. Now, for the most part, we're not really going to address these last two, a platform post or question. Again, what we usually do is we stick to the top 3 type of posts. These are really what work well for the multifamily housing industry type of content that we share. So I'm going to go back to all post types, and I will kind of show you. The cool thing is that if you can't remember exactly what you shared, say that you're scrolling through these page posts, and you see that, wow, this post got a great, amount of content. The virality factor was around 2%. So if you see that, say, I want to see what I posted. You can click on this actual post, and it tells you what that post was. So for whatever reason, pictures of cats get really, really great type of engagement for us. Honestly, any picture that we've posted of a cat has gotten tons of likes, tons of comments. We've had a lot of shares, so that works for us. So, this one was announcing our our giveaway that we gave away a $50 gift card. So, you can kind of see which type of content will work for you. What that did was it reached out to almost 5,000 people. We had almost 100 people talking about that. And the cool thing was that we had about, 150 people that were actually engaged, which really helped boost that virality factor. So again, post whatever you'd like to post that you think that will connect to your audience, but really pay attention to the page posts dashboard so you can see actually what type of post works well. Does a picture work well? Does a link work well? Or does it just a general post work well? And again, you can organize that by date, and you can organize that by reach. If you just click on one of these, it'll reorganize all of this for you. So I really ask that you pay attention to all of your post types so that you can see what type of post works for you. The next cool feature of the Insights dashboard I'll talk to you about is the export data. So anywhere within the dashboard, depending on what view you're in, you'll export that data. So I usually like to export data through the overview because it gives me a huge report that I can kind of filter on my own. So by clicking this button here, you'd hit export data, and I'm going to kind of make my screen a little bit bigger so you can see that. Okay, so if you go to export data, a box pops up, and what you usually want to do is you want to export that data of your Insights dashboard into an Excel spreadsheet. So by default, it allows you to do that. And then you can select the data type. You can select page level data or post level data. I want to do post level data because I want to see how my posts are working for me. The cool thing is that you can select a time frame, a date where you can really kind of hone in on that time window of when those posts went out. So say that, I kind of want to see what happened around the new year. So you can go back into your history, say that we want to do from January 2nd to, let's say, we'll do just a month. We'll do February 2nd. So once you hit download, depending on your web browser, I'm using Chrome. It'll export that into an Excel spreadsheet. So once you open that, I'll bring it over here for you. So you see that all of this, you have tabs chock full of information regarding your posts. So there's a key metrics tab. There's a lifetime talking about this tab. There's a lifetime post stories by action tab, as well as a lifetime post consumers by type, and the list goes on, you see here. So it's really up to you, depending on what tabs you want to get rid of, what tabs you want to keep. I really suggest what you do is you just kind of scroll through. So if you want to delete some posts some columns, you definitely can do that. Post ID doesn't really necessarily matter to you, so let's delete that guy. What you really want to share is what type of message you sent out. So we're going to wrap that so we can keep it a little bit more compact. So this is really cool because with your key metrics, it tells you what date you sent out the message. So the message refers to your content that you published. It tells you what day you posted it. It tells you how many people you reached out to, organic reach, paid reach. So say that you don't pay anyone, you're not running any Facebook ads. So we can take this one out. You might want to keep your virality factor in there, as well as how many people, organic impressions. Paid impressions, we don't use that, so we'll take that out. And again, the list goes on. So it's really up to you regarding, what type of reporting you want to turn in. This is really, really good if you're in the position where you have to explain to a higher up how, your Facebook content is working for you. It's really hard to convey the type of, measurement that social media has, because sometimes it's not super concrete. So this is the closest thing to like a way that you can show, where you were a month ago to where you are 30 days later. So this is, again, a really great way that you can convey how your content is working for you. So I suggest that you kind of play around with the reporting. You can, again, filter as much as you want or as little as you want. It just depends on how you do that. So that's one way that you can view, how you can export data. Again, the export data is a really great feature. You can export stats over a specific time frame to an Excel spreadsheet. It's an 8-tab spreadsheet of data segmented by day, week, month, and lifetime. And you can view your active users, your post views, your likes, and you can even view your unlikes among others. So again, you should use these stats to kind of just monitor your progress. So the next thing we'll talk about is the demographics. Again, there's 3 ways you can view your demographics. So in accordance or in addition to seeing kind of what gender and what age group your demographic is, you can also see what countries they live in, the city that they live in, as well as the language that they speak. So you can even expand this because you'll notice, dependent on your number of people who like your page, the actual number of countries that these people live in, cities, and languages they speak grow with the like count. So for the most part, overwhelmingly, our audience lives in U.S. Surprisingly, a lot of them live either in Chicago or Atlanta, third being Virginia Beach, which is where our home office is located. And, you know, obviously most of them speak English. So again, that's kind of will help you indicate kind of who you need to be speaking to, what language you need to be speaking, and how you can cater to that audience. So overwhelmingly, our type of audience is female. We do share, knowing that we do share a lot of DIY tips, a lot of things that will appeal to that demographic since they are the largest demographic. So what the demographics chart again shows is shows page admins an in-depth idea of the type of audience that visits your Facebook page. Again, for example, an admin can see kind of what age group, gender, language, or country is most active on the page, and then you want to kind of create the content that will cater to that group of people. So again, there are 3 ways you can view your demographics. You can view them people who like your page, the type of audience that you have reached, as well as the type of people who are using your content and talking about your content. So one type of aspect of the Insights dashboard I want to touch on is where your likes came from. So if you go to the likes option in the Insights tab, you'll click here. You can view page likes by gender, demographic, country, city, and language. There's also an informative graph below called where your likes came from. And what this does, it tracks the source of the like. So this is really important for you regarding kind of where that traffic is coming from. So a lot of you on your actual company's website may have installed a Facebook plugin. If you've done that, a lot of people can like your page from your actual your website before they even get to your Facebook page. So that's one place where your like can come from. For the most part, most of your people will like your page from Facebook. So that means that they go to your page and they like it. So again, if you hover over any of these question marks, it says people who liked your page on the page itself. So, excuse me, the really cool thing about Insights, it's very, very simple in explaining what each metric means. So again, if you hover over each question mark, it tells you that you know, with ForRent, we actually installed a Facebook, a like plugin on our ForRent.com Facebook page, so people can like ForRent.com's corporate Facebook page from ForRent.com. And again, the third highest source where people like us is from a mobile device. So this just tells you, if you expand this more, it tells you who has liked your page from where, so from the source. So that's really kind of where you want to hone in on your target audience. So for the most part, people like us from our page. So you see here that this blue bar indicates all the new likes that have come in, and this green bar indicates all the number of unlikes we have. So on a daily basis, we get likes and we get unlikes. That's normal. For the most part, though, you want your blue line to be larger than your green line. So sometimes we even out. You see here we had 10 likes and 10 unlikes at the same day. Here one time we had 9 new likes. The same day we had 6 unlikes. So that means that we really gained 3 likes. So you'll have to do the math regarding, you know, subtracting the number of unlikes from the number of likes, and that really just gives you your real like factor. So that's one way that you can do that. And also a cool thing is you can uncheck these boxes so you can just see the one of the graphs by themselves. So if you just really want to focus on who unliked your page, you can do that. So for whatever reason, people on April 4th, we had a larger number of unlikes. So one of the ways that you may see, like, you want to ask yourself, why did we get that number of unlikes? You can go to, again, your page posts and view that content that was posted on that day and see what happened so that you know not to do it again. For whatever reason, on April 4th, we got an overwhelming number of new likes. So you see that for the most part, that number of unlikes was large, but the number of new likes was even larger. So I believe that's the day that we actually launched our contest, which is SOS Out with the Mess. So for that reason, we had tons of traffic come to our page, more so than any. So again, if you run a contest or anything like that, be prepared to see maybe a spike, which doesn't indicate anything other than you had an overwhelming number of content, people come to your page or unlike your page that day, which is completely normal again. So that is under the reach option. So the next thing we'll talk about is the total tab views. So within the reach tab, total tab views section, we'll go here. So if you scroll down under your demographic, you'll want to go all the way to the bottom of the page. The bottom left of the page shows you your total tab view section, which is a really great indicator for the page administrator because it displays where on your page most users are spending the greatest amount of time. Now the tab with the most views is the most important to have consistent dialogue. It's really where your residents and prospective residents spend all of their time. So here you can expand this total tab views, and you can kind of see where all of your people are spending their time. So for the most part, people are spending their time on our actual timeline. And then secondly, people, since we launched this SOS Out with the Mess contest, people are spending the second largest amount of time on that app. So the cool thing is that you can click on all of these icons if they are in blue, so you can see what that is. So I'll show you. Okay, so we're here on the SOS Out with the Mess app, and this is the contest that we're running that really will, the winner will win $3,000, and they can put that toward going to help them organize their apartment. We don't have a lot of space in apartment square footage with our apartment sometimes, so sometimes your apartment can get messy. You're human, that's fine. So what we've done is to help us, we have installed this contest app to help people like our page and enter the contest. You see here all this is interactive, and for the chance to win $3,000. So of course people want to win money, that's normal, so that's why people are spending the second largest amount of time on that app. So again, total tab views is very important for you to know because it tells you where people are spending their time on your page. So pretty much those are all the things I think you should know about regarding, Facebook, the timeline, the Insights tool. We talked about, how you can reach your page posts. We talked about how you can export data. We talked about your demographics and, kind of how you can view your demographics in different ways. Also, we talked about where your likes came from, how you can isolate your new likes and your unlikes. You can view them together. You can see the source of where people are actually liking your page from. And lastly, we talked about the total tab views, where people are actually spending their time. So, all these features I think you should really just know about as a community manager, as an admin of your community, your property's Facebook page. I think you should know about these. Again, it's not important to know every single feature because, again, that feature may not help you. I do suggest that you play around in the Insights tool and become a little bit more acquainted with the Insights tool if you're not doing so now. So just kind of to drive the why factor home, Facebook Insights provides Facebook admins with metrics on performance of your page. So by understanding and analyzing trends within user growth and demographics, consumption of content and creation of that content, you're better equipped to improve your business with Facebook. I mean, Insights cannot hurt you. It can only help you kind of get to know your audience a little bit better, know where they're liking your page from, know why they're liking your page. You can get to better know your audience by the demographics. All these are meant to really help you hone in on your demographic, on your audience, so that way you can publish the type of content that they respond to. So one of the things, a couple things you can do today are really just go through the process of exporting a report. It looks like a lot, but again, you can just take out all the tabs that are not relevant to you and just play around with it. You can trash it if you don't want to, if you don't need it. Again, just kind of play around with it and see how all those metrics work for you and a really cool, robust exporting that report. Also, figure out which style of viewing your insights works for you. There's the 4 ways you can view your insights. You can view, from the overview, you can view it from your like view, your reach view, or you're talking about this view. So again, I suggest that you get to know all of them because again, not one of them is more important than the other, but sometimes one style works best for you or one style will tell you the most about your audience. So if you know that, I suggest that you really kind of just stick to that one style. So one of the takeaway that I have for you is it's really kind of like a gold mine of insights information is the Facebook Page Insights Product Guide for Page Owners. So this is actually published by Facebook, and what this does is it just really gives you a great, I think it's about 15 pages of information regarding insights. So you can segment, what type of insight feature you want to focus on. And it's by Facebook, so it's really up to date, and it tells you so much that you need to know. So I know we covered a lot, but if you find yourself getting in a little bit over your head, this guide is really available for you. It's in a PDF form if you want any type of more information. So it's just as easy as downloading it or reading it right from your browser. We're sharing this short link with you. So I suggest that you keep this on hand, maybe, save it as a favorite or, just have it as a really kind of quick go-to reference so that way if you get lost that you can refer to this guide and you kind of can get put back on track. So for the most part, that's pretty much what we have for you. I'm going to take questions now if you have any. We have a question from Nadine who asks if there will be a webinar to help improve your pictures in your site. For example, if your homepage has pics and wording, how can we, use those to help your Facebook business practices? That's a great question, Nadine. We have recorded and we have hosted a webinar on how you can create compelling content by using pictures. So if you do refer to our training portal in the training tab, you can view that. I believe that was done by Erica Campbell. So if you refer to that, you can click on that link and you can view that recording regarding how you can use pictures to help boost, resident retention and engagement on your Facebook page. I'll take any other questions if you have any, just to kind of really remind you about if you're just now getting started using social media, if you've just come on board by starting your own or creating your own Facebook business page. Again, you have to have at least 30 people like your Facebook business page to be able to view insights, as well as you have got to be a page admin of that Facebook business page in order to view insights. So definitely have both of those working. That way you can view all the cool things we talked about today. We have another cool question from Kristen. Who would we contact if our page isn't launching well? So I'm not quite sure what you mean by launching. If you're referring to, if content isn't working for you, if people aren't responding to that content, what you could do is you could reach out to our marketplace team, who are a great asset regarding how you can use tools regarding, helping you publish content that really helps you kind of get your Facebook page rolling if you're just getting started. Any other questions, even if they're not regarding, insights, perfectly fine. I'm here to answer any questions. Otherwise, I really appreciate your time. You're free to go. Thank you for listening into this webinar. I hope you kind of grasped some things from this. Be sure to use that short link we shared with you. And everyone have a great day.